All right, welcome back to the podcast. Today we have a wonderful episode with Brandon Abergon. Brandon and I have been working together for a while, and I know who he is and what he's done, but I want the audience to know. So, Brandon, would you mind giving people a little bit of your background? And thank you for being here today.
Not at all, Jake. And I'd also like to thank you for having me and say hi to everybody out there. I'm excited to be a part of the podcast. Just to tell you a little bit about myself. I've been lucky enough to know Jake for some time. My background is in what we would call family office services or advanced wealth planning services for wealthy folks around the world. So we have a few tools in the tool belt that we use for that. I'm excited to speak about them today, and I think a lot of them are going to be relevant to the digital ascension group folks out there.
Yeah, absolutely. We were connected. I don't even remember exactly how we got connected, but Brandon's helped us. He's consulted on PPOI with us. We worked to structure international companies. Actually, it was a client. It was a client that we had,
That's right.
mutual client, and she was nice to have to make the intro. We've known each other for a couple years now, so I've seen a lot of the way that you're able to work with families and help structure things to make sure that their legacy planning is across everything that they're doing, and also how to mitigate risk across multiple jurisdictions,
Sure.
structure life insurance for that. Where or who did you work with in the past that allowed you to garner the amount of knowledge that you currently have?
That's a great question. I everybody loves telling their story. So mine actually began, as I said, in the family office services, but I started in the private investment side of things, helping family offices structure their investment portfolio with things like real estate and private credit and hedge funds and all of these kind of advanced tools. And while I was doing that, I was introduced through PPLI to the world of legacy planning, asset protection, tax optimization, and how powerful all of these tools can be, but equally important, how dangerous the impact of not putting these tools in place can be. And I was able to learn about both of those things. So at that time, I went to go work for a couple family offices. One called Spearhead, just outside of Palm Beach, Florida, and then from there, I went to go work for the Rockefeller Global Family Office in New York, which was very exciting for me. And I was essentially doing the same thing that I did at the previous family office, and also what I do today, which is helping folks tackle these generational legacy planning issues.
Yeah, so let's say somebody has a liquidity event that could be through their business or through an investment that they make. Hopefully here in crypto, we're going to see some of that. We've already seen a little bit of it.
Sure.
There's been a lot of people that made a lot of money on Bitcoin or ETH or Solana, other things. And, if they have this in their personal name or they don't have some type of construct around it, talk a little bit about the consequences that can go along with that. Like, is it just huge tax implications? Are they opening themselves up to creditors and lawsuits? What are the downsides to not getting this right?
So the answer is it's a little bit of all of that, Jake, that you just mentioned. The more wealth you accumulate, the more prominent you become, the greater the threats to that wealth become. And that's just the way of the world. And so I'll break it down into two categories. You hit the nail on the head with the first one, what we refer to as asset protection. So today I'm going to speak about asset protection and tax protection, which are very different things. Um, and I should start by saying that while I am not a legal or tax advisor, and I am not giving anybody official legal or tax advice, I'm happy to speak about these things through my experience. Again, getting back to that asset protection. So that's what we would refer to as, you touched on it, creditors, judgments, liens, frivolous lawsuits, things like that. And it's a reality of the world that we live in, that, again, just as I said, as you accumulate wealth and more people become aware of that wealth, those things are simply going to become more prominent. And many of them are frivolous. And the reality is, even if they are frivolous, they can have a huge impact on a family, not just hitting their wallet and hitting their balance sheet, but the stress and the time and the energy and the resources that can come from a process like that,